and welcome back to this series of videos. This is episode 2 of the series called Form to Function, where I'll try to demonstrate the actual sum of the applications of the movements that are in the forms. So, you know, it's not just a collection of movements that look pretty good, but you'll actually get some idea of how they're applied. So I think that might be interesting to a lot of people. And so when we talk about forms, again, there's people practice forms in two modes. One mode is for performance, and so you kind of modify things a little bit so that when you perform the form, and it's more interesting and looks better to the person that's watching you perform. And that's the purpose. Then the second mode is Kung Fu, and in this mode the form is practiced in ways that build the person. And so build the person in many ways. They give you self-defense knowledge and the ability to defend yourself and make you stronger, help you identify and understand the energy in your body, calm and condition your mind and your body. So that's all Kung Fu, and that's the mode that I practice the most. And when you watch them, if you're watching forms performed in either mode, they'll be a little bit different. So in Kung Fu, the forms also are practiced at least 3 different ways. One way is just focusing on the movement. So I might have something like this, kind of a strike, or could be a grab, and when I'm practicing, I'm going to do it kind of quick and try to get that energy in there. Another mode of training is going to be doing this as an exercise. It's a very special kind of exercise that works on the functions that you need to build while you're to do this movement. So here I'm going to focus on my stance. I'm going to focus on getting low, on stretching my hips out, on stretching every vertebra on my spine up and my neck, and in reaching without distorting my back, right? Not putting any additional pressure in my back, and try to extend my joints. And I'm going to stand here for a while in this perfect pose, and it's going to, over time, build up my body in ways that will help me do this motion. And then on the other side, the third form is to practice the forms in terms of the energy, or the qi, your use or manifestation of qi. So qi, in this sense, is used in a slightly broader term or sense than it is in Chinese medicine. They're related, but not used in exactly the same way. And it manifests itself in many ways. One manifestation of energy in your body is your center of mass and your momentum when you move. And then another manifestation is a kind of the state or composure of your body, sort of in the sense of your nervous system and mind as you move. And on and on. There's many different aspects of the way energy is manifested in your body. So when I practice the same movement, I might want to understand kind of how the energy gets stirred up in my body, and how it passes through my joints, and how I maintain a stable balance, how I can move back and forth. And I'm really working on the energy, stirring it up, presenting it at the target that I want to project it to. And it's another deep subject, but that's kind of the idea. So you might do the same form and practice it a little bit differently to work on all 3 of these aspects. That's traditional. So today I want to show a few movements from the second form of Chaquan. And so Chaquan, each form has a different function. Like the first form, it teaches you to move and then be very stable with each movement. The second form is Xingqiu, and it's really, it translates into the ideas for your hands. So it's really the the basics, the fundamentals of all the ways that you use the hands in Chaquan. And then there's other forms that focus on how you do certain kinds of kicks. One is about how to evade, another one is how to wrap. And so each of the forms traditionally has a different function. So Xingshou, hand method, is the second form. And I'll take about 6 movements out of this form, and there's hundreds of, well, I don't know about hundreds, but well over 100 movements in this form, and I'll just draw out 6 of them. So without further ado, let's get started. It will start with a strike, followed with a throw, followed with a strike, and a parry, and a kind of strike. So those are the 6 movements. Let me count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? These are the 6 movements we'll talk about today. So the first movement is this strike. It starts with a kind of parry. So this arm comes right across your body, not too far, but if your center line is here, you probably intersect just behind your wrist. And then as you rotate up and draw back, hand is here, and you strike. So something in here that you won't see, they won't really show you when it's done for performance, is that there's this idea of this hand movement in Chaquan. So you might here, you can vary it, but this thing is a central idea. So this strike actually has to have this energy inside of it, where it's a rotating, stirring energy. Up, strike, up, strike, no strike, just protect yourself. Right? Stance is low, protection, opportunity, and you strike. That's the first strike. So the strike it really penetrates deep. It's called a penetrating strike, and so you kind of like here, this idea. Right? So again, this bag's about 100 pounds. It's dragging on the floor, so it doesn't really move that easily. But you can see that this strike puts a lot of power into the bag. And last time I showed you some pushing strikes. That energy pushes deep into the bag, but this energy is just quickly penetrates into the bag, and you don't follow like the other one, pushing strike, and you kind of follow, and you can control a person after this. There's no idea of control here. It's just a penetrating strike. All right, so that's a demonstration of this strike. It should have that power. So it comes out quick. So okay, first movement, penetrating strike. The second movement, so following along with this idea, right, this is a kind of way of guarding yourself. It's not a not a static guard, it's a moving guard. So here, and then, so I have this strike, kind of along the same idea, I have this throw. So this throw, I have some little bit of video of teaching this to my student, and one of my students, and I'll show you that right below here. And because when you look at it in the form, it doesn't really, don't really comprehend it as a throw, usually, or at least I didn't. So, but the idea here is that you approach and you get this foot behind the opponent's legs. You might even kick a little bit to his back leg, right? The leg, one leg's here, another leg's there. So you step in, whoop, and you kind of touch that back leg, and the other leg is in here. And you need to feel the energy. So you're going in, you get your leg here, and your hands they're like a kind of in guard, still moving, but they're close, but they haven't really touched yet. And after you get this in here, you touch the hip and you touch the body, and you put some force in there. Oh yeah. Right here. Oh yeah. So in the form, it just looks like after this strike, here, that's in the form, and it's a throw. And it depends on your sensitivity. You get in here and the person's still not falling. They feel your foot at the back, but they're not doing anything. And you go here, and when you touch here, if they try to move, then it's like they realize that they can't move back. And they very, very easily fall. You don't need strength. You just need a good sense of touch and anticipation of motion. So that's the second movement in this series, right? 1, 2, and then the third movement is 1, 2, 3. This is a kind of strike. It uses your wrist like this. You have a hook here, and so if I use this arm, when I strike, this hook and the hand wrap around at the same time. So it's meant to catch the neck, but it could be used in other ways too. I mean, we have some other forms where it's used down low to like around the waist area. But in this one, it's like you catch the head. It might catch behind the head or just under behind the ear or the throat, depending on how your opponent moves. So you've done the trip, and they escape by moving over to the side, and then your next movement from here is like this. You do this strike. It's very powerful, and it's very fast, and really unexpected because for one reason, it's done at an angle that people don't expect. So you got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 3. The fourth movement from here is it's a little bit of you use your elbow to kind of, maybe somebody's up close and you move in like this and you push them a little bit with your forearm, and then you turn that into a strike. So it's almost like 2 movements, but it's 1 movement. So from here you go, and then here, right? So that's the strike here. Here, this way. And we'll use this part of your arm, like this. So push, push, finish with a strike. Use this. So this very commonly, you move in, you get in here, and your legs behind their legs, and this, if it's chest level, you can turn into a throw. You just twist your body, throw the person over your outstretched leg. Okay. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, the number 5 is it's like a parry. It's not exactly a strike. There might be a kick here. Sometimes people could just come in, they want to grab it, your arm is on the outside, you can guide it in. So basically, you need to imagine somebody's momentum coming towards you, and whatever you contact with your arm, you just guide it slightly out to the side. If you've moved a lot, then the person would understand clearly that they're being moved and they need to change their course of action. But you keep this close to your body, and it's like you barely move them. They just glaze your body a little bit, and through their movement, their feeling of momentum doesn't change a lot. So it takes a lot longer before they realize this isn't going to work. And by that time, your opponent's usually somewhere over here to the side or something. Or if it's in the case of a kick from a longer distance, they're pulling their leg back already. So that's this. So, you know, keep in mind this this idea of how you're using the energy in your body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can use their energy this way too. And so these two circles, and also horizontal circles. These are fundamental to Chaquan. Okay, so, and that leads us into the sixth and last movement I want to demonstrate. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, it's a little hard to demonstrate on a bag because the movement is really this way and this way at the same time, and it's like a smashing movement. And you can launch it, so if an opponent is sideways, you can launch it into this area here and move them back. Or if they're square, you can launch it into this area and just like smash all the internal organs from here down. So against a bag, you can practice it like this. It's a little bit weird, but here, right? Using this. Whack, and use your whole body to smash down. So that's number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Okay, so that's 6 more movements from the second form of Chaquan this time. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you can get some ideas and usefulness, some use of this in your own sparring and practice. And so, yeah, with that, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.